Man, it has been a long time since I've been to the library, man. So as I've mentioned several times here in the vlog, I am very consciously trying to start to read more. It's said all over the place that leaders are readers. I want to try and read more. I listen to a lot of stuff, but apparently there's some stuff in your brain that like strengthens as you read, and the more you read, the more words you see, expands your vocabulary, and as a songwriter, that's important to me. So a lot of factors, but it's the first time I've been to the library in a long time. I'm actually surprised my library card was still active. It was pretty cool to see. But a little side note, 12 years ago, my first job was at the public library, the Northport library. This is the East Northport library. They're all kind of interchangeable. But my first job was a page. They called this a page because I still carried a pager, a legitimate pager, where like if they needed me, they would page me. That was not that long ago. Well, it was 12 years ago. But that was my first job. And the funny part about that, while I was very grateful for that job, it was pretty much the job that solidified the fact that I'd be an entrepreneur my whole life. The story behind it is the fact that I got that job when I was 16. It was great. It was $7.25 an hour. I made $7.25 an hour, which is crazy because now minimum wage in New York is like $16 to $17, $18 an hour. So that means that I have cousins that are like making in 1 hour what I made in almost 3 hours of work. And it was crazy because I only worked somewhere between 3 to 6 hours a week. So I distinctly remember that that was around the time when I was really like getting into the guitar, like really like advancing my guitar gear. So I was buying a lot of pedals. In fact, a lot of the pedals and the amp I still have, I bought during that period, and they still last and stuff. But buying a $200 pedal at $7.25 an hour, working 3 to 6 hours a week, it took me forever to save up for things. And then back then, like, you would buy it and it wouldn't even come for 2 weeks because that's how shipping worked back then, man. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. So, but that being said, I worked there for 6 months, and after 6 months, I got a raise. They took me into the office and I got a raise, and they said, hey, we really like you. They really liked me there. I was like one of their best employees. Every 6 months we do a review and we want to give you a raise. And they're like, thank you so much for all you've done, and as a thank you, here is a 15-cent an hour raise. So I went from $7.25 to $7.40 an hour, and I was like, I'm working 3 to 6 hours a week. What am I supposed to do with my extra 45 to whatever 80 cents a week? And right there, I was giving guitar lessons at the time, and at the time I was making significantly more with guitar lessons. And that's like at the beginning of the career, my guitar lessons. I gave guitar lessons for like 10 years, but I think if not more, about 10 years actually. So that being said, like, by the end of my guitar lesson career, I was making almost 10 times what I was making at the library. About 9 times more an hour. Actually, no, and that's a half an hour. When I finished teaching guitar, when I stopped in 2021, I was charging $65 for a half an hour, which is $130 an hour. So I was actually making almost 20 times more what I was making at the library an hour. I distinctly remember, I was like, when I got that 15-cent an hour raise, I said, oh, I'm never working for the man in my life. Nope. This is that. I'm an entrepreneur, purebred, baby. Oh, the system, no way. But that being said, I got an interesting book. I wanted to try and start reading biographies. I was curious about the George Washington biography, so I went to look for that. But I found it interesting. George Washington, entrepreneur, how our founding fathers' private business pursuits changed America and the world. Talking about not only was he a great leader and a great president and also a great captain in the army, general in the army, but he was also a really successful business person. I was like, oh, that sounds right up my alley. I'm gonna start reading a little more.